Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for joining today. We are so excited to dive into our content that we have. We've still got a few folks joining, so I'm just going to give them another minute or two just to hop on. Everyone gets situated. I know we're hopefully a little after lunchtime, so you've had your lunch, but if not, grab that. Grab your afternoon coffee, and we'll get going here in just a minute. For everyone currently on the call, I do want to make sure, let's see, that we are sharing our screen correctly. And I want to make sure that you're able to use the GoToWebinar question box feature within the GoToWebinar panel. So this question box feature is essentially going to be your chat feature with us today. So we will be able to see it. You will not be able to communicate with any other attendees. But it will be something that's vital whenever we get to the Q&A section of the webinar today and just throughout the webinar. So while we'll give everyone maybe one more minute, and if you want to practice using that question box, feel free to submit in where you all are calling from. I'm calling from Houston, Texas area, and so it's always fun to see anyone else where everyone's calling in from. So submit that, get that question box, submit those questions, and let's see where everyone is calling in from. Let's see. Oh, hey, Oregon. Portland, Oregon. When I say Oregon, I'm always like, oh yeah, Portland, Oregon. That's where my brain associates it with too. Probably not directly there. Phoenix. Oh, are you guys hot there too? Texas is burning right now. Let's see. Minneapolis. Oh, Alabama. Let's go. SEC. UT is an SEC now. I'm real excited about football season coming up. Oh, awesome. Atlanta. Oh, the Poconos. Let's go. That's awesome. Okay, keep sending me in because I want to see I want to see where you're calling in from. So keep sending those in. But man, I love that about these webinars is getting to see like where everyone all over the nation. I think we've had people like internationally call in before too. That's so fun because like in this remote forward world we have, right? This is just a way that we all get to connect and be together. So yeah. Okay, keep sending them in. Also, throughout this, please send any questions throughout. I think I'll give you one more reminder so that we can answer those in the Q&A later. But we will go ahead and get this party started. I will start with a few quick housekeeping items. Just a reminder, this webinar is recorded. I'm also still looking through everyone's areas. Fort Myers Beach, Florida. We just went to Florida. Okay, so yeah, it's reminded. You don't have to worry about taking notes because, sorry, it's recorded. And that's so great thing. You can just sit back, listen, really take it all in. Because it's recording, we will send the recording and all slides to your inbox tomorrow. So you will have that. Unless you're a type A person like me and you like to just take notes, which I do. So feel free to do that as well. And as I mentioned before, one of the best parts of these webinars is the Q&A towards the end of the webinar. So we'll pull a few questions from ones that have been submitted. So please feel free to get those in throughout the entire presentation. If we don't get to your question at the end, we will follow up with you guys personally and make sure that we answer your question so that we can take care of that. Quick introduction. I am one of your co-hosts today. My name is Anna. I am a senior manager in the B2B marketing department that supports the USA Today Network and Local IQ. For the last 15 years, I've worked in strategic marketing and advertising within multiple industries. I've helped businesses increase revenue, grow lead gen and retention, elevate their brands to be trusted icons. And as I said previously, I am based out of a small town in South Houston, Texas, where it is hot. Okay, Maddie, really quickly, Madison, if you will introduce yourself so everyone knows who our other wonderful co-host is today.
Happy to. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday, Junior. I'm Maddie, also go by Madison, the B2B content manager here at USA Today Network and Local IQ. I work alongside Anna in our B2B marketing department. I'm based in Philly and I've been working in marketing for about 8 years now. I do a combination of growth strategy, demand gen, brand positioning, all things that connect people to the right message at the right time. So, really excited to be here talking about omnichannel with y'all.
Yes, awesome. I'm so happy to be co-hosting with you. Maddie, I know there is lots of experience and expertise that you're going to share with everyone today. And I'm excited for lack of a better word. And just to make sure that we're all on the same page before we officially kick off the webinar, quick little a spiel here with who we are, because many of you might have worked with our company before as USA Today Network. We've mentioned that. Many might have worked with us as like local IQ or even local publications in your area. Some of you may not be as familiar with us. So for the latter, our company prides itself on the incredibly unique and effective combination that we do have with local IQ's advanced technology and USA Today Network's distinctive audience, national reach, our local heart, and timeless traditional solutions. Through all of this, we're able to provide a complete end-to-end range of marketing solutions that help businesses optimize their own omni-channel marketing strategies. At the end of the day, we're here to help you build presence locally or nationwide. We're here to help you generate leads and prospects, convert them into loyal customers, and keep you at the top of their minds through every step in the journey. Also, we're here today to just provide some valuable information for you and for your business that you can take away and use in however you decide to after this. And that's something that we're really happy for and really proud of. And the last thing we are also proud of is that we are a premier partner with all major advertising platforms that you can see there. So, okay, that's it. Now that you know us, Maddie and I, now that you know our company, I'm going to turn this over to Maddie, and she's going to take you through all of her strategies, trends, and everything omni-channel marketing for today.
Yay! Thanks, Anna. Hi again, everybody. I'm really excited to be here with everybody. I'm very excited to be covering this specific topic. Lots of great stuff coming up in this presentation. First, we'll be taking a quick look at where we're heading today, starting with key trends that are shaping omni-channel strategy right now, looking at what's changing, what's working, what's next, etc. From there, we'll chat a little bit about what it looks like to actually build a strategy that connects the dots across these platforms. We'll also share a few creative combos that we've seen crushing it across all different types of industries, and then we'll wrap up with a live Q&A at the end. Like Anna said, please take advantage of that Q&A box on your screen throughout the presentation. Anytime you have a question, just pop it in there and we'll get to it at the end. Sounds good. Let's keep it rolling. Before we dive into strategy, let's take a second to talk about what omnichannel marketing actually is. It's one of those terms that gets tossed around a lot, but not everyone's using it the same way. Here's a question we get a lot. How is omnichannel different from multi-channel? They sound basically the same, right? Well, let's break it down. Most businesses think they're doing omnichannel because they're active in a few different places. Like they've got social ads going, probably sending some emails, maybe even running search ads. But if it's not all connected, it can be a little chaotic for the customer journey. So someone might see your brand on Instagram, get hit with a retargeted ad, and then end up on your website through search. But it feels like one conversation. That's what omnichannel marketing truly is. The easiest way to think about it, multi-channel is like juggling a bunch of separate balls. Omnichannel is a choreographed dance. It's a lot smoother, it's smarter, and honestly, it just makes a lot more sense to the customer. Let's be real for a second. Today's buyers don't follow a straight line. One day they're watching a product demo on YouTube, the next they're probably clicking on a retargeted Facebook ad or opening an email promo. This is the modern customer journey, and it looks anything but linear. This is the new reality. It's why omnichannel marketing matters so much. In fact, Salesforce found that 90% of customers expect their experience with a brand to feel seamless, no matter what platform they're interacting with your business on. And when brands get that right, they can see up to 23% boost in revenue, which is quite a bit. Even more wild, omni-channel campaigns drive nearly 3 times the purchase rate compared to a single channel campaign. Why might that be? The message feels connected. It builds trust. It gives customers confidence to act. So, no, it's not about being everywhere all at once. It's about showing up intentionally and making every moment that you have with the customer count. Omnichannel campaigns kick off by building awareness through high reach channels like OTT, OTV, display, social. USA Today Network and Local IQ take this a step further, though, with first party data and proprietary tech to target the right audience from the jump. We can talk about that a little bit more later, but um, from there, omni-channel campaigns move into engagement with things like search, email, organic social, retargeting. This helps keep your brand top of mind. And because the messaging is consistent between those different platforms, each channel reinforces the next and moves people closer to conversion. At the bottom of the funnel here, we drive action with branded content, email CTAs, and even more retargeting, which can further amplify your XMO tech. So your budget flows into what's actually working. It's a smarter, more efficient way to convert, and that's what makes omnichannel really click. All right, so we have a foundation of omnichannel marketing down. Let's get into what's shaping it right now in the moment. From nostalgia to AI, these trends are really driving how brands stay relevant and connect to their audiences. First, let's talk about one of the most effective and enduring tactics we're seeing. That's nostalgia. Throwback visuals, cultural comebacks, simple retro fonts, even, they kick emotion up in us, right? And brands are really leaning into that to make a modern connection. 92% of consumers say nostalgia actually makes ads more relatable. And I'd say it's definitely working. Like I said, nostalgia works because it hits emotionally, right? It taps into memory, it taps into comfort, it reinforces an identity that we built when we were younger, and seeing these types of advertisements for the first time. One of my favorite recent examples is Post Malone's set list being print in the Tennessean, the physical newspaper. In fact, it's one of the USA Today Network newspapers. Such a cool and unexpected throwback. When brands lean into nostalgia, that really kicks up creativity. It really sticks with the audience. It grabs attention and it makes the message that more memorable. Younger audiences aren't tuning out traditional media necessarily. They're actually re-engaging it in very interesting ways. Take Kelsey Russell, for example. She's pretty big on TikTok right now. She built a massive following just by reading print newspapers on camera. And it's not a gimmick. She is using it to highlight credible journalism and encourage critical thinking, which in the day and age of endless scrolling are a little bit hard to come by. The simple act of holding a physical newspaper and flipping through it feels familiar and trustworthy, especially on a platform like TikTok where everything is moving at lightning speed. Throwback cues can often be a big, glaring signal for authenticity as well. When a brand leads into its roots or even just a familiar style, it feels grounded and approachable. In an age of skepticism, that familiarity can break down barriers and build trust even faster. Burger King, oops, sorry, Anna, go back for one more second. Just wanted to highlight Burger King here. This is a really awesome example of old school marketing that is really playing out well in the modern age. Just really brings back a wonderful memory of pre DoorDash days, hanging out in the drive through, wearing a silly little paper crown. Just really takes you back. Another thing that's really great about nostalgia is how flexible it is. It works across pretty much every format, whether it's a quick video, a clever social caption, or even something as simple as a throwback style email subject line. It's one of the few strategies that really fits across the full omni-channel mix without being forced or out of place. Taking a look at our second trend here, it's a pretty big one, and that's AI, which is seriously changing the game, especially when it comes to omni-channel marketing. It's helping us segment smarter, create content faster, and make campaigns way more efficient. But honestly, the biggest value is in the scale. AI lets us personalize messaging across tons of touch points without sacrificing consistency or quality. And that's something that used to take way more time and effort. AI is not only changing the way we plan and personalize omni-channel campaigns, but it's also changing what happens after someone engages. Dash by Local IQ is a really great example of that. It uses AI to organize and prioritize incoming leads, and it can even jump in with quick responses via text or voice. Basically, it helps make sure strong leads don't sit in someone's inbox for days. It keeps the momentum going when people are most ready to take action. And you can see this is a really great example over here on the right side of the slide, um, a visual representation of how Dash by Local IQ can really simplify the process here. And the last trend I really want to touch on is adapting by industry. One of the biggest mistakes we see um, in marketing today is treating omnichannel like a copy paste strategy. Like the same approach will work for every brand, no matter what industry you're working in. But that's not really how it works. Certain channels and combinations just perform better in specific spaces. So instead of one size fits all advice, I want to walk us through a few key industries and highlight the channel combos that are really moving the needle in each one. Starting with healthcare. It's a pretty big industry, and it's where trust is everything. The combo of SEO, video, and email can really nurture that trust. SEO helps patients find providers when they're actively searching, and video is a great way to explain complex topics in a relatable way. Then you throw email in there, that gives you a way to stay in touch and continue building that relationship over time. This mix does a great job of meeting people where they're at, and guiding them from research to action. And we've got home services next. This is all about timing and location, mostly mostly because of the in-person nature of this field. If somebody's searching for a plumber or HVAC tech, they probably need help now and in a specific location. Can't really pick up your HVAC system and take it somewhere to be serviced. This mix helps you show up right when and where they're looking, and it keeps you top of mind in case they don't book right away. In retail, omnichannel is really about connecting the dots between online and uh, in-store shopping. Combining search, social, and display helps guide someone from the first spark of interest, like seeing a product in a social ad, which I'm sure everyone is aware of. They're all over the place now, to searching for reviews and then either checking out online or walking into a store to buy. It's all about showing up at every step and making the path to purchase feel seamless. Lastly, we have the travel industry, where people buy with their eyes, right? Video and social are great for sparking that initial wanderlust. Honestly, who hasn't been scrolling and come up on somebody's incredible video of their vacation and thinking, "Dang, I really want to go there." Travel trends, or travel brands rather, should do this too. Then display can um, help keep your brand in front of them as they research, compare, and plan those trips. The goal is to create that constant visual presence that helps them turn a daydream into an actual booking. Cool. Now that we've talked about strategy and trends, I want to zoom in on what's actually working when it comes to channel pairings. One of the most underrated parts of omni-channel strategy isn't just what channels you use, it's how you use them. And this isn't just throwing spaghetti at the wall. These are real combos from real campaigns. So let's take a look, starting with um, print and retargeting. We've known for a long time that print builds familiarity. It's tangible, it stands out, but it doesn't stop there. When you follow it up with digital retargeting, you keep the conversation going and create a much more connected experience. This combo can actually boost campaign performance by up to 400% just by reinforcing the message across channels in a consistent way. Next, we've got social ads plus branded content. This combo is awesome when you need to build trust or really educate your audience, kind of like when we were talking about healthcare a few slides back. Branded content gives you the space to tell a deeper story, and social ads make sure the right people actually see it. Together, they create a brand experience that's not only engaging but measurable. And because it's showing up where people are already scrolling, it tends to stick. We see a big lift in recall and brand favorability with this pairing. This is a great example of how that combo works in practice. A biopharma brand created a powerful piece on mental health disparities in rural youth, and um, the content was fantastic, but really what made it successful was how it was shared. Pairing it with organic social drove over 8.5 million video views, and 1.6 million of those were just from social alone. Altogether, the campaign over-delivered by nearly 500,000 impressions. This just shows how strong storytelling, backed by smart distribution, can turn engagement into real results. Next, we're looking at video and email. Personally, I think video and email are such a great combo. Adding motion makes your emails way more engaging, even if it's just something simple like a GIF or a thumbnail. Grabs attention, encourages clicks, keeps people on the email much longer, and consistently boosts open and click through rates. Sometimes a little movement goes a long way. Search and display are a true power combo as well because they work together to catch people at just the right moment. Search captures those high intent users who are actively looking, while display keeps your brand in front of them as they browse. And when you put those together, we've seen lifts in conversion as high as 59% when someone sees a display ad and then searches. So it's a smart way to reinforce your message and stay top of mind. A super great example of that on this slide. Um, in the auto aftermarket space, timing is key, right? So we paired this campaign with our active shopper network tech to zero in on high intent shoppers. The result of that was a 4.5 to 1 return on investment, over $35,000 in revenue, 95 confirmed sales matched back to our efforts. Just a super great turnout. This case study really goes to show that combining smart targeting with strong channel combos really drives measurable action. Last but certainly not least, we have chat plus landing page. It's a classic, really. When someone's deep in the funnel, even a tiny hesitation, like a question or a missing detail, can slow things down or even send people off the landing page entirely. That's where chat comes in. It offers real time support right when people need it so they don't bounce. It's simple but powerful, and we've seen it make a big difference in conversion rates by keeping the momentum going. Okay, I just threw a lot at you. We've covered a lot. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a few quick questions to think about as we move out um, of the webinar today. First, I want to go back to the very beginning of today's session. Are your campaigns truly integrated? Even small shifts in consistency can have a humongous impact on how well your campaign turns out. Second, if you're putting effort into great storytelling, is it getting the distribution it deserves? You can have amazing content, but if you're not really showing it to anybody, it's not going to do much, right? A smart channel combo can turn a good message into measurable results. Finally, what happens after someone clicks? Whether it's using automation like Dash or tightening up your lead follow-up, that next step is just as important as the campaign itself. Um, I want to thank you guys so much for diving into all of this with me. Anna, I'm going to pass it back to you for now to move along with our Q&A session.
Yes. Oh, that was awesome, Maddie. Thank you so much for all of those insights and the trends and everything. I know we have a lot to take away from today, and hopefully we'll get some good questions in the Q&A portion. So as a reminder, please, if you have any questions that came up from any of Maddie's slides and presentations and all the thoughtful information that she gave us, please put it in the question box now. You've already warmed those up, and we will get to those here shortly. But before we do answer any questions, I do want to pose one more question to everyone else. So you should see right now a question pop up on your screen. It should take over your full screen. Go ahead, answer that question. And as soon as you answer it, it will still stay up there. But when you do, just sit back, relax, because we are going to go into the Q&A portion after that. So uh, go ahead. Let's take a look at it. And Maddie, I'm going to slowly get into our next Q and A's that we have for everyone. We will close that question out here shortly. Please go ahead and get that in. So our first question, while everyone is answering, my last question that I have for you is, what's the best way to measure whether my omni-channel campaigns are actually working together and not just performing individually?
Yeah, that's a really great question. It's really easy to measure channel performance when they're isolated. Like, okay, like my email open rate is X or my display CTR is Y, but that doesn't always tell the full story of how those channels are working together necessarily. One thing we want to look for is crossover behavior, like are people clicking the ad on display and then converting later from search? um, we have to follow them where they're going, right? That kind of behavior shows your campaign is building momentum, which is exactly what we want from omnichannel.
Awesome.
Great question.
Okay. All right. So I've got another one. What if my team doesn't have the bandwidth to manage a full omni-channel strategy? That's a great question. It's a
Yeah,
good
I
one.
totally get that too. Omnichannel can, like, it sounds like a lot. We're talking about juggling multiple channels and making sure they align with each other. That's a lot of work up front. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be everywhere all at once. It's about being intentional on the channels that you choose and how you make them interact with each other, right? Like if you're already running search, maybe layering in display to stay top of mind is an easy next step. It's less about scale and more about synergy, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Give me 1 second because now I've lost my questions for you. Is there anything else you want to provide, Maddie, while I can figure out where my questions went to?
Yeah, absolutely. So, um,
Oh, nope, I
one
found them.
thing. Okay,
Sorry.
great. Yeah,
They got lost in the shuffle of all of the fun technology stuff that
yeah, I
we do.
know.
No,
My
okay.
Q&A box.
So, okay, what if one channel in my campaign is underperforming? Like, should we just pull it, or do we try to figure out a way to make it work together?
Not always. Sometimes it's not really about the channel. It's about the content or the creative that you're pushing or how you're targeting the audiences with that content. Like if your display ads aren't getting clicks, it might just be a messaging issue. Tweaking that messaging can go a long way. Also, if your audience is super broad, if you're targeting everyone, no one is going to be paying attention, right? You have to be a little bit specific, a little bit personalized, and determine really who your audience is before you push a campaign like this.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. Okay, what if our audience isn't active on every channel? How do we decide where to focus?
Yeah, just like I said, it's really important to consider who you're targeting before you start a campaign like this. Like that's your number one goal when you start out. Um, if your audience lives on like YouTube or Google, for example, you don't have to run a Facebook campaign just because everyone else is on Facebook. You can start with one or two channels that make sense for your customer journey and then think about how those work together. Then, when you start getting data coming in from that performance, you can layer in other touch points that might make sense for your brand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Great questions.
Okay. How do you make the creative how do you make the creative consistent across platforms without it getting repetitive?
Yeah, that's a super valid concern, especially because when we first started the webinar, I touched on how, we don't want to have just a copy and paste strategy, right? That repetition without intention gets really stale really quickly. I'd recommend starting with a central creative concept or a story, perhaps, and then adapting it based on the platforms that you want to use. Um, so the message is consistent, right? But the execution fits the formats that you're working with. For example, you could start with like a 30-second brand video and then slice it down into a looping GIF for display, and then frame it for print, and then maybe put some text overlays on it for social. So you have the same message, but it's in different flavors.
No, awesome, awesome. Okay, real quick, last question before we tie it up. And if we don't get to all of your questions, because there are some that we have not been able to get to, we will follow up with you directly, and we will answer your questions specifically and directly to you. And I'm actually just going to answer this one for you, I think, Maddie, but you can add on. It's do you have top performing mix for construction and agricultural industries? And I know that we do. We don't have that right here in front of us because we're doing our webinar, but we absolutely that is something that we do, and we can make sure that we reach out and get you what that top performing mix is. Okay, we have not gotten to all the questions. We will not get to all the questions, but we will answer your question directly. As I mentioned, we will follow up with you and make sure that you've got an answer to that. Maddie, would you like to close us out?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank everybody so much for taking the time today. It's been really interesting the way that we've seen marketing evolve, especially in the last 10 years. And omnichannel is a way to rise to the occasion here. A lot of great takeaways. I hope that you can find something um, in this discussion to apply to your own marketing efforts. If you ever have any questions, we're always here to help. Um, Please keep an eye on your inbox for the materials from today's session. And like I said, feel free to reach out anytime. We're happy to help.
Sounds good. Yep. Ditto to all of that. Thank you all for joining. We appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody.